Hello dear students, welcome to 5th session of Physics Bridge course. Today we are continuing the previous topic, that is motion in one dimension. Hope you are doing well. I expect you all to have a notebook, pen, paper, pencil and a calculator. Before we are continuing with today's class, let's once have a quick recap where we have left in the previous class. In the last class, we discussed about equation of motion in one dimension at the end. That is, let us consider an object moving in a straight line at a time t equal to 0 if the body starts with the initial velocity u, undergoing a uniform acceleration equal to a for a time equal to t seconds. At the end of the journey, the body acquires the final velocity v and covers a displacement equal to s meters. In order to define these terms in one-dimensional motion, we have a set of equation is called equations of motion. First one is v is equal to u plus at, or a is equal to v minus u divided by t. Here v minus u is the difference in the velocity, that is final velocity minus initial velocity, and t is the time taken for the change in velocity. Here this formula a is equal to v minus u divided by t comes from the definition of acceleration. Second equation of motion, that is s equal to ut plus half at square, and third equation is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Here one thing we have to keep in mind, that during the motion of the body, the acceleration of the body is uniform or a constant. One of the example for uniform acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. Let us discuss about the concepts related to the acceleration due to gravity. We all familiar with the story of Sir Isaac Newton. One fine day, he was seated under an apple tree and suddenly an apple fell on his head. The rest is a history, but this gave to the birth of laws of gravity. We understood that the objects which are nearer to the surface of earth are grabbed towards the earth with an acceleration. This acceleration is called acceleration due to the gravity. Any body dropped from a particular height falls to the ground under the action of gravity. This is called as acceleration due to the gravity. Sir Isaac Newton was one of the greatest scientists in the physics. You don't find the concept in the physics where his contribution wouldn't be there. Now, while speaking about one-dimensional motion, we speak about acceleration due to the gravity, which comes from his theory itself. Then, when we move on to heat and thermodynamics, we have Newton's law of cooling. When we discuss about the waves, the speed of sound, there is a Newton's formula. When we go to the optics, there is a formula given by Newton to calculate the focal length. Like this, wherever you go in any concept of physics, he would have made contribution. I wonder, maybe his parents were aware that in future he is going to be a scientist, finding tons of new things, hence named him as Newton. Let's focus on acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration due to which the body falls towards the earth, the value of acceleration remains a constant throughout the journey, hence it is uniform. This acceleration which is exerted by the earth on the object is represented by a small letter g. Its value actually changes from place to place, but near the surface of the earth, it is almost remains constant, which is equal to 9.78 meter per second square. While solving the numericals in the data, they might give the acceleration due to gravity as 9.8 meter per second square. In order to reduce the complication during the simplification, they may give this g value as approximately equal to 10 meter per second square. Therefore, based on the given data, we can solve the problem. As I told you, the value of acceleration due to gravity varies from place to place based on the different parameters. Let us see how does it vary. The acceleration due to gravity small g is given by capital G m divided by r square. Here the capital G is called universal gravitational constant and capital M is the mass of earth, r is the radius of the earth. Before analyzing the physics formula, you must have the knowledge of little mathematics. That is, if any physical quantity is related by the formula which is having the numerator and denominator, in such cases, the quantity on left hand side is directly proportional to numerator. That means if the numerator quantity is increases, then the quantity on left hand side will also increase. However, if the quantity on numerator decreases, then the quantity on left hand side is also decreases. But denominator quantity works exactly opposite to this. That is, if the denominator quantity decreases, then the quantity on left hand side will increases. Whereas if the denominator quantity increases, then the quantity on the left hand side will decreases. This kind of relation is called inversely proportional relation. Therefore, the quantity on left hand side is directly proportional to the numerator and left hand side is inversely proportional to the denominator. Now let us come back to this concept. Here, mass of the earth remains same, but the position of the object keeps on changing. Hence, r value will be changing. Therefore, g value changes from place to place. Now consider the object is on the surface of the earth. In this case, r is equal to the radius of the earth. Suppose the object is at a particular height. Let's say the height is equal to h. Then the value of small g, that is acceleration due to gravity, becomes equal to capital G into capital M divided by r plus h the whole square. Since r value is increased in the denominator, the value of acceleration due to gravity small g will decreases. Similarly, as we go deeper, suppose you go down to the mine, then the acceleration due to gravity is again decreases. You may ask here, according to the formula, the acceleration due to gravity small g is equal to capital G into capital M divided by r square. If we go deeper, r value should decrease. In that case, g value should increase. But this is not the case. Because when we go deeper to the earth, at that time, this part of the earth alone going to exert the gravitational force on the body. Therefore, in this case, there is a decrease in the mass capital M. So, the value of acceleration due to gravity small g is also decreases. And how the value of acceleration due to gravity changes, that we discuss in detail when the course starts. Let's just have a clarity that if we go above the surface of the earth or below the surface of the earth, then the value of acceleration due to gravity g value is decreases. Though we know that the earth is spherical in shape, at the equator the radius of the earth is slightly more and at the poles it is slightly lesser. Therefore, at the different position of this earth, due to its shape, the value of acceleration due to gravity g keeps on changing. Suppose I mark two positions A and B on the earth. Here A is very nearer to the equator, where the radius of the earth is more. The radius of the earth is approximately taken as 6,400 kilometers. So at the point A, which is nearer to the equator, radius is more compared to the radius at the point B. That is, RA is greater than the value of RB. Here RA is the radius of the earth at point A and RB is the radius of the earth at point B. At the point A, the value of acceleration due to gravity, small g, is given by g capital M divided by RA square. Here at A, as R is more, G is less, and at B, the R value is less, therefore G value will be more. Therefore, due to the shape of the earth, the acceleration due to gravity will be vary. That is, here at the equator, the acceleration due to gravity is less, whereas near the poles of the earth, the acceleration due to gravity is more. Along with this, the earth spins about its own axis with an angular velocity omega. Due to the spinning action of the earth, the body experiences centrifugal force outwards, due to which the gravitational force of attraction towards the earth gets compensated by small value. Hence, gravity will decreases. Now let us look into the sign convention when the body is in motion under the influence of acceleration due to gravity. When the body is in motion under the acceleration due to gravity, which can either increase its speed or decrease its speed. For example, when a body is falling down, its speed will increase, while when the body is thrown up, its speed will decrease. So, in one case, the acceleration due to gravity is increasing the velocity. In another case, it is acting like a deceleration and reducing the velocity. Now let us look at how we can substitute the value of g in the problem. For the body falling freely, its velocity increases. So the body is undergoing the acceleration. We take g to be positive. When a body thrown up, the velocity of the body will decreases. This means the body is undergoing deceleration. Hence we take the value of g to be negative. Now let us see how this equation of motion changes for the body moves under the influence of gravity. For any body thrown upwards, as I discussed, the value of g should be taken as negative. Therefore, in all the equation of motion, replace a by minus g. Here one thing you have to note it down. Don't change the sign in the formula. Only for the value that you are substituting, you can assign the sign to be positive or negative. Here you get v is equal to u plus of minus g into t. Second equation becomes v square is equal to u square plus 2 into minus g s. Third equation becomes s is equal to ut plus half minus g into t square. On the other hand, for the body falling downwards, the g value is taken to be positive. Therefore, in the equation of motion, wherever you are having a, replace it by plus g. So you get equation of motion as v is equal to u plus gt, v square is equal to u square plus 2gs, s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Now let us see some other sign convention. For instance, the sign convention what we discussed now, it is enough. But when we go to the higher courses, this sign convention might not enough, because we are looking into the physics by broader perspective. In such cases, just considering the g positive or negative when it going up or down may not be sufficient. Hence we speak the sign convention in terms of Cartesian coordinates. How do we give sign to g, that is acceleration due to gravity, according to the Cartesian coordinates? Now let us consider a coordinate system x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. The coordinate axis marked red considered to be positive x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis. And the coordinates marked by green color are considered as negative x-axis, negative y-axis and negative z-axis. Now understand, when I am using the sign convention based on the coordinate system, anything that moves along the positive axis, that quantity is considered to be positive. Suppose the velocity of the body that moves along the positive x-axis, then it is taken to be a positive quantity. Whenever the body moves along the negative x-axis, then quantity in that particular direction is considered as negative. Now coming to the acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration due to gravity for a body falling freely, then g is acting in a negative y direction. Since the acceleration due to gravity is along the negative y-axis, therefore it is considered as a negative quantity. Suppose the body is thrown upwards. Since the body is moves along the positive y-axis, therefore in that case the velocity of the body is taken as positive. Therefore, according to the sign convention of Cartesian coordinate system, any body moves vertically upwards, then the quantity is taken as positive, and for any body moving downwards, then its quantity like velocity, acceleration are taken to be negative. Now, if we look at this equation, v is equal to u plus at. Suppose the body is dropped. When you dropped a body, its initial velocity is equal to 0. Any body which is dropped from a particular height and moves only under the influence of gravity, then it is said to be a freely falling body. For a freely falling body, u value, that is initial velocity, is always equal to 0. That means it dropped from the certain height and it moves only under the influence of gravity. For example, when you drop a feather and a stone, the stone will move only under the influence of gravity. Therefore, it moves in a straight line. In this case, you describe the equation of motion by replacing A with G. Whereas for a feather, there will be a air resistance along with the gravity. Therefore, it might not obey straight line motion, and hence you cannot use the equation of straight line motion. You can try this experiment. Take a sheet of paper, drop it down from the certain height. It does not follow a straight line path due to the air resistance and gravity. But if you crush the same paper and drop it down, at that time it will move in a straight line due to the gravity. When the paper is open, at that time area of the paper is more, therefore air resistance is more. If you crush the sheet, at that time the air resistance will not contribute more, therefore it falls under the influence of gravity. When body falls freely, as I told, its initial velocity u is equal to 0 and it moves only under the influence of gravity, that is A is equal to G. Now use our old sign convention, that is A is equal to plus G when the body is moves under the influence of gravity, and A is equal to minus G if the body moves against the gravity. Now after every 1 second, the velocity increases by 10 meter per second. If you consider the G value is equal to 10 meter per second square, that is at the end of 1 second it would have gained the velocity of 10 meter per second. However, at the end of 2 seconds it would have gained the velocity of 20 meter per second. Similarly, at the end of 3 seconds it would have gained the velocity of 30 meter per second, and so on. If the acceleration due to the gravity G is 9.8 meter per second square, then at the end of 1 second the body would have got the velocity of 9.8 meter per second. At the end of 2 seconds it would have got the velocity of 19.6 meter per second, and at the end of 3 seconds it would have got the velocity of 39.2 meter per second, and at the end of 5 seconds it would have got the velocity of 49.0 meter per second, and so on. If you look at this diagram keenly, the velocity is increases approximately at 10 meter per second, but if you see the distance covered during that 1 second, it keeps on increasing. With this knowledge, let us solve some of the numericals to understand the concept better. I want you to make a note of the problem as I read it. Problem number 1. A motor boat starts from a rest and accelerate at a 3 meter per second square for 8 seconds. How far does the boat move in this time? Make a note of this problem and have your pen, paper and calculator with you to solve this problem. First we have to note down the data given in the problem. A motorboat starts from rest. It means the initial velocity of the boat is 0. That is u is equal to 0 and accelerates with 3 meter per second square, which gives the value of a, and it is equal to 3 meter per second square. For the time equal to 8 seconds, this gives your t value. How far the boat moves in this particular time. Therefore, in the given problem, displacement s is asked for time t equal to 8 seconds. So we have to use the equation s equal to ut plus half at square to solve this problem. Make a note of given data whenever we solve the problem. For the board exam, it is very important to write the given data and the formula to be used. But while solving the numericals related to competitive exam, there is no need to waste the time by writing the data. As we are still in the process of learning how to solve the problem, it is always good to write the given data, the formula, the substitution of the given data in the formula, and then the simplification. So in the given data, as I told you, the body starts from rest. Its initial velocity u is equal to 0, undergoing a uniform acceleration, that is a equal to 3 meter per second square for the time t is equal to 8 seconds. Let us substitute the given data in a particular formula, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Therefore, s is equal to 0 into t plus half into 3 into 8 square. Therefore, we are getting here 2 ones are 2, 32 2s are 64, 32 into 3, we are getting s is equal to 96 meters. Whenever you got answer, you shouldn't forget to write the unit. If you don't write the unit, then the value is meaningless. I hope this problem is clear to all of you. Let us move to the another problem. A ball is gently dropped from a height of 20 meter. If its velocity increases uniformly at a rate of 10 meter per second, with what velocity will it strike the ground? And after what time will it strike the ground? A ball is gently dropped. Here, dropped in the sense its initial velocity will be equal to 0 from the height of 20 meter. So it means it is going to travel the entire 20 meter to reach the ground. If this is the ground, this is the particular point which is at a height of 20 meter. So the body dropped from here. Before it reaches the ground, it would have covered a distance equal to 20 meters. So that is s. The velocity increases uniformly at a rate of 10 meter per second square. The rate of increase of velocity is actually called as acceleration. Will what velocity it strike the ground? So you need to find what is the final velocity and how much time it take to reach the ground. That is t is equal to what. So Quickly write down the data given. Here u is equal to 0 meter per second. There is the initial velocity. A is equal to plus g because it is falling down due to the influence of gravity. S equal to displacement, that is equal to 20 meters. In this case, we need to find what is final velocity, that is v, and what is time t. Now here a ball is gently dropped from a height 20 meter. If its velocity increases uniformly at a rate of 10 meter per second square, with what velocity will it strike the ground? And after what time will it strike the ground? Now there are two parts in this problem. We need to solve it by two steps. Step number 1, I will use the relation v square is equal to u square plus 2as. In this case, replace a by plus g and s by the height h. Then the equation is converted into v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. Here u is equal to 0 meter per second. Therefore, this equation is converted into v square is equal to 0 square plus 2 into 10 into 20. Therefore, v square is equal to 400. V is equal to square root of 400. That is, v is equal to 20 meter per second. That is the final velocity of the ball when it is reaches the ground. The next part is after how much time the ball reaches the ground. Now we are using the relation v is equal to u plus at. Here v is the final velocity which is not given in the problem, but we got it from the previous step. Its value is equal to 20 meter per second. Here by substituting the value of v is equal to 20 meter per second, u is equal to 0 meter per second, and acceleration due to gravity a is equal to g, that is equal to plus 10 meter per second square, we are getting 20 is equal to 0 plus 10 into t. Therefore, we are getting t is equal to 2 seconds. Hope you all understood this problem. Let's once quickly revise what we discussed today. At the starting, we have discussed about the equation of motion, uniform acceleration, and example for uniform acceleration, that is acceleration due to gravity, and sign convention which is used for acceleration due to gravity. Finally, we discussed some problems to understand the concept better. Thank you. Have a nice day.